Hey, welcome back to our series on maturity. I'm Ed Khouri, and I'm pretty excited that you're here today because we're going to be talking about joyful, emotional, and relational skill training. We've been talking about that first rail of our train tracks, which is joyful Emmanuel healing. We talked about the second rail, which is joyful community and belonging. And today we're going to talk about those joyful cross ties, those joyful, emotional, and relational skill training. Now, what in the world is joyful, emotional, relational skill training, and why do we need it? Well, first, remember, joy means that we're glad to be together. The only way my brain, the front part of my brain, is going to learn how to handle emotional and relational issues and stay connected to other people when I'm emotionally upset, stay connected when bad things are happening, is when joy is present. Apart from joy, my brain will not train with new emotional and relational skills. What do we mean by emotional and relational skills? I mean the essential skills that help us connect with God and others to start with and stay connected when bad things happen. Some examples are things like, how do I grow joy? How do I build joy in a relationship with someone else? What are the kinds of things I can learn to live in joy? How do I quiet myself when I'm upset? What do I do to still and calm myself when things have gone wrong? Here's an important thing. How do I handle those difficult and distressing emotions? How do I feel something like anger? How do I feel something like fear or shame and still stay connected with God and with other people? How do I handle disgust? How do I handle something like hopeless despair when everything in me just says this is hopeless? How do I manage to stay connected with God and with other people and engage with both of them in joy in the presence of distressing emotions? How do I learn essential relational skills like resolving conflicts? You know, sometimes the way that people resolve conflicts is who's got the loudest voice and the most power. They resolve it by the way they want to and they're happy and nobody else is. How do we actually learn to resolve conflicts in community in ways that are life-giving? And how do we stay connected with God when we have a conflict? How do we do things like set goals as a community and all work together towards reaching them? How do we do real mutual satisfaction when we are all feeling good about the direction that we're going? And how do we stay glad to be together in the middle of all that? Those are the kinds of emotional and relational skills that form the cross ties to keep those two rails moving together. To grow our maturity, we need all of those. Now, the sad part is, in the church, we don't talk about those cross ties very much. And the truth is, increasingly, those skills are vanishing from our culture and from our society. A lot of us have grown up and we don't know what to do when we're angry. We just feel angry and we feel cut off from our relationship with God and our relationship with other people. And the only thing we've ever learned is you shouldn't be angry. If you're like me, that has never helped me stop being angry. It just makes me angrier. Some of us have never learned how to handle shame and stay connected with people who are feeling shame or connect with God and others when we're feeling shame. You see, the kind of emotional and relational skill training we need, they're vanishing. And the only way we can grow those kind of skills is by being intentional about learning and practicing them. And the only way to grow those intentionally is in the context of joy. See, a lot of us have thought it would just be so great if I could get away and live on a desert island with just the people I like and God, and we'd all be fine. And you know what the problem with that is? Imperfect people hanging out together, sooner or later somebody's going to have a bad day. They're going to wake up and a coconut's going to land on their foot, and they're angry and they're frustrated. And if you don't know how to handle anger or help them stay connected when they're angry, your happy little community is going to slowly and surely start to deteriorate over time when bad things happen. You and I need those cross-tie skills to stay connected with God and connected with others in joy as we're growing our maturity. Now, in our next and final series, we're going to talk about how, when we've got joyful Emmanuel healing and we've got joyful belonging and we've got our cross ties in place, you and I go viral. You don't want to miss this. I'm glad that you're here with me learning about this, and I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next time.